So we've got all the subsections completed. Now it's time to do some colouring in. Hello, welcome back to the Adrian Bar Project. I'm Adrian with a face for radio, and on today's episode I'm going to be doing part 6 of my MPC Round 2 22-inch Space 1999 Eagle Transporter build, where we will be getting on the base coat. So cue the music. Well, before I started putting any paint onto any of the pieces, I noticed that on the manoeuvring thruster bells, this happened on every sprue, there was just a little piece missing out one of the engine bells, so that had to be filled with filler and sanded back best I could. Okay, so after all that was done and dried and sanded down, I took all the pieces that needed spraying with black primer and removed them all from the sprues and put them all out ready. And as you can see on this photo here, any small parts I stuck down onto some packing tape, just held them into place, so when I used the spray can it didn't go blowing to pieces everywhere. So it was a lovely day, took it outside and blattered everything with black primer, as we can see here. So all that was given a couple of coats to make sure that it was covered entirely, there was no grey showing, and left for 24 hours. The following day, any parts that didn't need spraying with the aluminium spray were removed from the board, and I took the engine bells and any metallic objects that needed spraying with the aluminium out, and again it was a lovely day, so I blattered them with 2 coats of Humbrol aluminium coat spray. Again 2 coats, like I said. These were left for 24 hours. Then the following day I took them all out, and everything that needed just the silver aluminium on it were polished. So it does say on the can that when you've you let it dry totally, just to get a soft cloth, and you buff it up and it gives a shine. Now it's not a brilliant shine like a stainless steel shine, it is aluminium, but it does look rather nice, I think. Okay, so here we go then. As we can see, we've got all the parts here. Now this is the Humbrol aluminium spray that I used. It's metal coat spray. So like I say, put your couple of coats on it, give it 24 hours to dry, then you buff it up with a soft cloth. And this is your final result. So that's one of the engines, and I'll say it's black inside as per the instructions. Got the metal coat on the outside. There's some of the other thruster bells. Thruster bells as well. As you can tell, I've switched my room around because we're getting a bigger gaming table for us Warhammer, so I've had to switch everything around in the room. So I've got to get used to doing everything on this side now. As you can see, they come up fine straight out of the box. Now you can go and spend £50 on the turned aluminium ones even if you want to, but if you're a modeler like me and you just want an eagle at the end of the day, it's not going to go in any shows or anything, then these are just fine enough, I think. Also, of course, we've done the same on the legs, the landing struts there. Of course, I've still not painted these yet. I didn't mention it in the previous part, but these are still painted black. I will be doing that in the next video, showing you how I'm going to be painting these, what colour I'm going to be painting them. But there you go. I am, of course, using the springs that came with the kit. A lot of the people that have done videos on YouTube already from this kit have gone and bought the aftermarket ones because they said it makes their eagle sit too high. Well, I'm not going to be that precious about it. I just use the ones that came with the kit. They'll do me fine, and you just stick them on with a bit of super glue. Of course, here these are the landing struts that go under the passenger pod, which I just could not remember the name of earlier on, if you noticed with the stuttering. And of course, these are the little thruster bells that go on the side. Just leave them black inside, and then the aluminium coat outside. These will go on last because if I can find one of these. As you can see, I put the little box on that they fit onto, but you have to put decals on those parts there, and it's just going to make it a lot easier without those in the way. So the decals will be put on, they will be sealed. I'm going to be using a satin varnish. I don't like matte varnish. I just don't like the effect it gives. I'd sooner have some kind of little sheen on it on my modelling, but that's just my preferential choice. But when that's done and they've been coated, then I'll be putting those on and gluing them on with a little drop of super glue. So that's all those little parts there. That's all the black and the silver parts done. So like I say, the undercarriage parts, I will be painting those in the next video. So I'll be showing you what I'm going to be doing with those, and I'm going to be weathering them, and we'll take it from there. So let's now move on and we'll have a look what I did with the white parts. So after all that, the following day I decided to get on with base coating the white parts. Now before I did anything, I masked off all the points where two subsections were going to be glued together. This meant not getting any glue on the plastic parts, which meant there was going to be a better bond for the glue because it wouldn't have to be eating its way through a couple of layers of paint. So having done that, I got all the white parts out onto my board again. I actually pinned down any parts that might get blown over just by the sheer force of the paint coming out of the air can. And of course, again, it's a nice day, went outside and I gave it two light coats on all the white parts. Now you have to be a bit careful with this Humbrol spray. Where I do my spraying, we had actually got the tumble dryer on and it was blowing the mist back in through the house, and we had a nice lovely powdery white coating on everything in the kitchen, so just be wary about that. So, and as you can see here on this part, two coats of that, let it all dry for 24 hours, and we've got all the parts out and all nice and white. So I decided to take the glass sections that had to be painted black beforehand and place them on the pod, as we can see, you know, the passenger pod, and put them into place. And there are two on each side, two little black panels that were glued on as well. Also, I took the opportunity to put the silver discs on to the nose cone, as we can see there. and that lent all of that there was ready and waiting for any weathering and painting to be done on those parts. I've started off already doing painting the two little figures, as we can see here. Now for this kit, I think this is the biggest letdown of the kit, because these figures are so softly molded, it's really hard to get any detailing, especially on the faces. Now, if you're new to modeling and you think, what do you mean by soft modeling? Well, just think of it this way. If you draw a picture of a face with a pencil, nice sharp pencil, you can get loads and loads of detail. You draw the same face with a wax crayon, you're not going to get hardly any detail on it at all. You'll see the features, but that's all you'll get. So you can just take these two figures here as being the wax crayon version and you do your best what you can with them. But I give it a go. I'm not the best at figure painting, but I did the best I could on them. Okay, just apologies if you can hear some hammering in the background. The neighbour's just decided he's going to start some construction work. I don't know what he's doing, and I don't really care. So, okay, before we go on, as we can see, all the white parts have now had their 2 coats of white paint. Again, I used I used 2 cans of Humbrol white primer. So I say, do be warned, if you're going to do it outside, don't do it near the back door like I did. Bit of an idiot, but there we go. Okay, before we go on, I did mention in the previous video about what I was going to do, or thinking about what I was going to do with the glass. Now, I've decided that I masked it off and I painted round. I have had a dry fit in there, and I have come up against a little problem that other modelers have made on their videos, whereas when you put this glass in, you do get a little gap between the glass and the nose cone on the eagle. Now, the way I'm going to get around that is I'm going to just glue them in with a bit of super glue after it's all been painted and weathered and varnished, so I'm not getting any varnish on the clear parts and then ended up fogging up like I did on my Grumman A5. Yeah, that was a big cock up there. But I'm going to super glue them in, and then what I'll do, I'm just going to run a bead of acrylic filler there, you know, the Vallejo one, because it's just so quick and easy and clean. Run a bead across, cotton bud, done. So that's going to be no problem at all. And as we can see, all the white parts have been painted 2 coats, and as we go on there. Right, well, I want to show you what I did on the engines. I've now glued the engines onto the back because I was thinking of weathering on that back panel, and I thought, well, you're not going to see a great deal of it, so I thought, nah, I'm just going to glue them on anyway. What I've done there is around the base where the engines fit on, I painted black, because with the dry fit I put them on, and I put one of these little these greebly bits that go on the inside of the engine, and from certain angles you could see the white of that, so just go around with the black on there. Also on that inside pipe there, you can see some white because I forgot to paint the inside of it black. I really should have done, so there's a little tip for you. Don't do what I do, don't glue it together and forget paint it back. Paint the insides of it black, or you're just going to see white, but I did best I could with that, and I'm not really too over bothered about that part. So there we go, that's all the parts there. That is now ready for weathering. Now when you look at the pictures, you've got little grey panels and little various bits and bobs on the illustration. I'm going to be having a go at that using a mixture of both painting it on and using some pastels, you know, crushed pastels, and then, you know, just dabbing it on, because this paint has given it sort of a textured surface which means I think those pastels will grip. So hopefully, fingers crossed with that one. I'm also going to be using some of the Citadel paints washes, because I get I've seen a lot about that non-oil one, and it seems to do a better job than the Humbrol panel line washes that I've got. So that's all in the future for when I come up to do the paint, the weathering and paint job on it. Here, of course, we've got the passenger pod, and like I said, I put the windows in. They have been super glued in. I didn't risk using Tamiya extra thin, because I've seen people use it on their glass parts and get away with it. Every time I do it, it fogs them up, so they must be doing something that I don't know what they're doing. But there we go. That part has just been left off because I'm going to be doing some little grey panels on the top of that. It's going to be a lot easier doing it on a flat surface than doing it on there and it bowing. What you've got to remember is as well that you're going to need two little screw holes, one there and one just there, for when you come to screw that part onto the top of the passenger pod. Little tip for you: once you've done it, you've got it on and you've done your two holes. There we go. You've done your two holes, just so you know that they're going to be matching up. I put a little bit of tape there and a little bit of tape on the inside, so I know that hole was done with that, because I used that part there, that hole, as a guide when I did it. So there we go. Okay, so we're getting on to the little figures that I did. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm crap at painting figures. I really struggle, and a lot of modelers do. I know a lot of modelers do. This is what I've got to so far, and like I said, the detailing on these is really, really soft. You are going to have a hell of a job trying to get any detailing on those. I went back onto the e-models videos that they did, and the chap on there, he said exactly the same thing. He's an infinitely better modeler than I'll ever be, and even he said he was struggling trying to get any detail on the faces especially. I'm not 100% happy with the faces on here. I might go away and have another bash at them, see if I can get a little bit more detail on them. But at the end of the day, when they go into the nose cone, you're not going to see them, which is another little thing of mine. Now, the nose cone, you do not have to glue it onto the back panel, so you can take it on and off, so you can see your little figures on the inside. But if you're going to remove that, why didn't they do a full cockpit interior? So you could then have the choice of putting your little figures in or not. You could still have the choice now, but it's going to look a bit bland at the back. But they could have put in a full cockpit, with the chairs, dials in the front, so then you take it off, you're like, there you go, then put it back on. An oversight costs too much, I don't know, but that's what I would have done. So there we go for this episode. Like I say, all the white is done. I will be now going away and getting all these parts here, the weathering panels. I did write to Hannants. I wrote to Hannants, see if the decal sheet was still available for the little weathering panels that they did. They did an extra decal sheet. Now, with the release of the Eagle 2 kit, I would have thought that these decals would have been made available again. They've looked into it for me, and at the time of recording, they are not available, and there's none to be had anywhere. The only thing I have found on eBay for somebody selling them, but be aware, because they are not decals, they are stickers. So it's going to be this thick, well, you know what stickers are like, the paper that stickers come on. And before long, when the glue dries on them, they're just going to start peeling off and they're going to look bloody awful. So I gave them a wide berth. So be aware of that, because on eBay, people are advertising them as decals, and they are not, they are stickers. So just be aware of that. So there we go, that's as far as I've got with the model so far. And that's the end of yet another episode. I hope you all enjoyed that one. If you did, and you haven't done so already, could you please remember to subscribe to my channel. At the moment, I'm aiming to get 1,000 subscribers. And as soon as I hit that 1,000th subscriber mark, I will donate at least £20 to Macmillan Nurses here in the UK. For those of you living outside of the UK and you don't know who the Macmillan Nurses are, they are there to help everyone with cancer live life as fully as they can, providing physical, financial and emotional support. I myself have had their services firsthand, and I can tell you they are exceptional. A lot of the time they do have to rely on public donations, so if you'd like to find out more about Macmillan Nurses, or in fact give a little donation yourself, then please visit www.macmillan.org.uk. Okay, I'd like to thank you all again for watching. It's very much appreciated. Don't forget, you can still follow me on Facebook and on Twitter if that's going to be easy for you. And here's to seeing you all again on the next episode of the Adrian Bout Project.